What's up guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make pink noise type beats for artists like Pretty Fun, Shane, Lucy Bedrock. So without further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial. First step here is we got to go and change the theme of our FL to make it pink like this. That'll make the beat sound better. And now we can't even see the audio in these audio clips, so we got to go change the color of those as well. So go here, put it on like pink, put like that. And now we should be good to go. So starting off, I'll show you guys how I made the melody. So I have a bunch of different layers. First one is this, and the MIDI sounds like this. And by the way, I got all the sounds in this beat from Serum for the melody, so Serum's definitely be great for these type of beats. And on this, I just have this EQ, just a high pass, shaper box, and a vocoder. And by the way, for this for this EQ, don't worry about how I EQ'd this, just ignore that for now. If you want to do a high pass or a low pass, you can click on the band like this, left or right click on it, click type, and then you can choose what type of band you want. Or you can also select the order, so if you want like a steeper order or a less steep one, you can select that. Don't worry about how I did this. This is just I did it for a specific reason, but I'm not going to get into that right now, so yeah. And after I made this pattern and put those effects on it, I rendered it out as an audio clip right here, which sounds like this. And this audio clip, I just put some distortion on it, I put some OTT, and I put a fruity panamatic. And I didn't reverse this or anything, so there was really no reason to render this out as an audio clip, but I just rendered out a bunch of the melodies and I kind of wanted to keep them the way they sounded and make sure nothing got messed up with the MIDI or anything. So yeah, now without further ado, let's get into the second melody. So this is the MIDI, sounds like this. And I don't think this one is actually on a mixer, yeah, so I didn't put any effects on it. I just rendered it out straight away to get this. And this here, I put some OTT on it, and I put a panamatic as well to widen the stereo image a bit more. And for the third layer, this is what I made. And it just repeats again right here. So what I did for this, let me check what mixer. It's actually not on a mixer again, so I didn't put any effects on it. I just rendered it out straight away, and I created this. And as you guys can hear, that sounds very different from the original MIDI, and that's because I put some pretty heavy effects on here. So first I put the shaper box, then I added an OTT, then I put this EQ, put some distortion, another shaper box, and another EQ at the end to just make it a little less harsh. And I used some distortion on a bunch of different things in this beat. And for these pink noise type beats, a lot of them are just very fuzzy, kind of like a lot of white pink noise in them. And this beat wasn't like that to the extent that some of the other ones are. So if you want to make these beats, you definitely do want to add some distortion and use some Serum presets that have like a lot of noise in them or whatnot. But these type of beats still work, and it just depends on what like type of beat you're really looking for, because some of Che's beats, for example, are a bit cleaner, and some of Lucy Bedrock's beats are a bit more just complicated and full. So it really just depends what vibe you're going for. But yeah, this is the next layer from Serum. And again, this, like the last pattern, I have the same thing just copied over here. And oh yeah, also this is on mixer number 5. I'll show you the effects. Oh, I actually didn't use any effects on this. I'm not even sure why it's on this mixer, but should I even change this? I didn't even change this. Okay, I don't know why it's on the mixer, but the reason I have it duplicated over twice here is because when I render it out as an audio clip, then I can cut it and take the second half in order to preserve the tail, or just the stuff that kind of fades over, because as you can hear, there's some delay and other effects, reverb on the serum, which if I just rendered it out directly as an audio clip and cut it right here, that delay carrying over from this part to the next bar over would be lost. But now this way I can cut out the second 4 bars and have the effects and this noise of the effects from the previous 4 bars when these 4 bars begin, if that makes sense. But yeah, sorry, that was a little complicated, but this is what the final version sounds like. And what I did here was I just added this EQ, added this shaper box, and I added some distortion. And yeah, by the way, I definitely want to get some better distortion plugins. If you have any recommendations for distortion plugins, leave them in the comments below. I mean, Fruity Fast Distortion is great too, but if you have any recommendations of better distortion plugins or whatnot, definitely let me know. Now, next up I have this. And this is definitely one of those more just annoying kind of like ear-piercing leads, which is definitely important for these type of beats. And what I did was I just rendered this out as an audio clip, and it sounds like this. And now I added again a high pass and just some OTT. And I think, yes, for some of these I did actually reverse them. I forgot to mention, like for example, for this one, I rendered it out so I could reverse it. Yeah. And then next layer I have looks like this. And once again, I don't believe this is on a mixer channel. Nope, it is not. So we'll just give a listen to the final. And as you can hear, that sounds very, very different from the initial MIDI. So what I did was I reversed the clip, and then I went and I put some pretty heavy effects. Once again, I added an EQ, a shaper box, a vocoder, distortion, and another EQ at the end. And yeah, just move on to the next layer of the melody, which sounds like this. And here you can clearly see I put a distortion, and I put some distortion, and here's what the final clip sounds like. I reversed it as well. And on this one, I just added some EQ, some OTT, and another EQ. Now we have 2 more layers of the melody which I did not render out as audio clips. This is the first one. And on here, I just have, once again, a high pass filter, and that's it. And the final layer sounds like this. And on here, I put an EQ, and as you can probably hear, a shaper box. Now that's it for the melody, and I'll play all the layers of the melody together so you guys can hear what that sounds like. Let me just move over to this part of the song. Alright, now moving on to the drums. First, I got this 808 right here, which sounds like this. by the way, guys, I'm sorry, the heater just turned around in the background, so I don't know if that's loud or if you guys can hear it, but yeah. And for the 808s, I just turn the velocity up, and then I have turned the volume up here, and on the master I have a soft clipper, and that's how I mix the 808s for this beat. Now, next up we have the hi-hats, which sound like this. Very simple, just 2-bar pattern that repeats. And by the way, guys, for these type of beats, you're going to want to mix your drums pretty quiet generally. Well, 808s, of course, are going to be very loud, but the hi-hats are not going to be as loud as in other types of rap beats. And in addition, the snares or claps shouldn't be too loud as well. This is the clap I have. It sounds like this. And in order to achieve kind of a more subtle clap, I went in my head here and I put a low pass filter on the clap. Whoa. Sorry. I put a low pass filter that looks like this on the clap, and I just turn the volume down a bit on the mixer so it kind of blends in well with the beat and isn't just ear piercing and obnoxious. So next up I added this accent snare, and it's a very subtle accent snare. It's not too loud at all. It's kind of blended in the background, and you may not even notice it if you're listening to the song for the first time. Yeah. Next up, I added this open hat. Playing this pattern just adds some more kind of white noise, fuzziness, whatnot, just noise to the beat. And now I have this second open hat, which sounds like this. And I'll play these two open hats together because they actually complement one another. Yeah. And you're definitely going to want to use a lot of open hats in these beats to fill space. Next up, I added this little perk here. Oh, it's a triangle actually. I forgot what this was, but yeah, it's a triangle. And then I added this right here. It's just a little perk. And last but not least, I have this snare fill here, which plays the end of every 8 bars, which sounds like this. And I actually added a bit of reverb onto this, just because I was trying to make it a little less harsh, but as you can see, it's not too much reverb, because the snare was a bit harsh originally, and this is just what I felt it needed in order to blend in with the beat. And now I'll play all the drums together. And yeah, and I know that snare kind of sounds bad as it is right now because of the fact that there's a bit of reverb on it, but when it's played with everything in context, you can't really hear the reverb. It kind of gets lost in everything else, so it sounds fine. Lastly, I'll show you guys the arrangement. So here's what the arrangement of the beat sounds like, or sorry, looks like. I just have this arrangement I made, which lasts until here. It's just 36 bars, and then it repeats again. So you guys can just copy this down if you want. I'll show you with all of the melodies. So here are all the melodies, and then here's where I placed each one throughout, and then here's what I did with the drums. Just cut out all the drums for the snare fills, and then after every 16 bars I cut out the hi-hat a little bit early as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and if you have any suggestions for how I can improve these tutorials, or if there's any artists you'd like me to do a tutorial on in the future, please comment down below. And yeah, have a great day.